Hello and welcome to another episode of the Red Delta Project podcast, where we teach you how to maximize your results with minimalist fitness strategies like grind style calisthenics and diet-free, satisfying, healthy eating strategies. My name is Matt Schifferly, founder of the Red Delta Project, author of books Fitness Independent, Smart Bodyweight Training, and the brand new release Grind Style Calisthenics, the manual for helping you use bodyweight training for building raw muscle and strength. Just came out this past week on Amazon. Paperback and Kindle versions are available. You can check it out or search Grind Style Calisthenics. And as a reminder, I don't take any sponsorships or anything for this podcast. I want to keep it ad-free. So this is how I support these podcasts, is through the sales of these books. So if you've picked one of these up or are looking at doing it, I sincerely appreciate the support. And if you have any questions on it, I'm always all ears. You can DM me at Red Delta Project or reddeltaproject@gmail.com for any questions you may have. Today's episode is a bit of a question and answer strategy. I get all sorts of great questions from you folks, and every time I answer them, I'm like, boy, this is really good information. I don't want to send it to one person, so I use these podcasts to send these answers out into the universe, and hopefully it's going to help a lot more people. The first set of questions is all about weight loss. One is how to lose a lot of weight real fast. Specifically, I had someone ask me, how do I lose 50 pounds in 3 months? And that's a pretty damn aggressive goal. And I know a lot of times people are like, what? That's crazy. That's insane. But you know what? I've been in this industry long enough to know that when it comes to rates of weight loss, all bets are off. Like, there is no standard for how much weight someone can lose and how fast they can lose it. And I know you get formulas out there saying you should be losing 2.68 pounds per week and yada yada, but really it's a guesstimation because there are so many influences and variables that come into play for your weight loss potential, and they're always changing and stuff. So is it possible? Yeah, possibly, because you can get results 3 ways. You can get big results. 50 pounds of weight loss is a big result. You can get fast results, 3 months, that's nothing for time, and you get easy results. Now, the thing to recognize is you can have all 3, but you can't have all 3 at once. And the more you try to maximize 2 of them, the more it's going to come at the cost of the 3rd. So in this case, we're trying to get really big results really fast. So that whole easy results thing, that's the one you're going to be sacrificing, which means this is going to be very hard on average. But here's general approach to what I would do is, one is get really strict about your diet. We're talking plant-based foods, preferably close to the source of whole foods for vegetables and fruits and vegetables. Whole foods as far as, meats and stuff like that. Good amount of protein at every single meal. Carbs are okay, but keep them to a minimum, just enough to maintain your energy level. Don't go so low that you're like dragging through your physical activity, but try and see how little you can get by with and still feel pretty good without a lot of cravings. Keep your portion sizes in check at all times, so that way when you're eating, you're not eating so much that you're getting totally satisfied. You're going to like 70% satisfaction. No caloric sources whatsoever in the liquid form. So it's water, tea, black coffee. That's pretty much it. Be physically active as much as possible every single day. You can do all sorts of different things. You can go high intensity, low intensity, but be physically active as much as you can every single day. Try to get your steps well above 10,000 steps every single day as well. The more you walk, the better. In fact, my experience has been that walking is one of the best ways to lose weight, because you can do it, a lot of it, every day, to just keep that caloric furnace burning throughout the day as well. Strength training is good, maintain your muscle mass and stuff. It's very nice and intense. However, if you are trying to just drop weight for the sake of dropping weight, nix the strength training. So that way you're burning through muscle as well. It's a difference between, are you trying to lose fat or are you trying to lose weight? Sometimes people are saying, I just need to be physically lighter to pass a test or make a weigh-in or something. Okay, then burn through your muscle. You'll gain it back afterwards. Don't worry too much about it. And, there's dehydration strategy and stuff, but I don't want to really get into that right now. It's just too dangerous for me to give blanket advice over a podcast. And I honestly don't know too much about dehydration techniques. So I'm not even going to get into that, but that's something you can look into as well, because you can lose a lot of weight through water if you need to make it for a temporary scenario. Now, that's the key thing to understand is, are you trying to do this for a temporary event, or long term? And the reason why that's important is because the second question we're answering today is how do you prevent or deal with rebound weight gain, which is a question I get quite often. When you go after an aggressive weight loss goal, it's much smarter to do that if you're doing it for a singular event, like a weigh-in or a photo shoot or something. And you're like, I need to lose weight for this one event, and after that, I can regain some of it back or all of it back. It's okay, fine. In that case, an aggressive approach can be very practical and it's fine. But if your goal is, I want to lose a lot of weight quickly and I want to keep it off, that's going to be much more difficult because rebound is much more likely. And the reason for that is because we're human beings and we can only handle stress so much. Whenever we do anything to an aggressive change to the body, you have a lot of stress building up exponentially over time. And all of us have a finite capacity for stress. It's not about being weak in the discipline or willpower area or anything. Every single one of us can only take so much. And the longer you go and the more stress you build up, the more likely you're going to rebound and the bigger that rebound is going to be. And like I said, if you're going for a singular event, a rebound is okay. But if you're going for long-term results, you don't want to rebound. So what do you do about that? Well, one is maybe an aggressive approach isn't the best thing in the world, because the secret to long-term weight loss is to use methods that do not build up stress, that have as little buildup in mental and emotional stress as possible. And that's the thing is these days in our fitness culture, especially, the blood, sweat, and tears approach is the cool thing these days. The nice, easy, and gentle approach isn't sexy. It's not something that gets talked about a lot on Fitspiration boards and stuff. You're supposed to suffer for your results. But the reality is big results that come and stay are the ones that, again, big results, fast results, easy results. So we're switching the formula a little bit. So we're saying I want big results and I want it a little bit easier. So it's not going to be as fast. It's going to take a lot longer, which is fine. That's my approach always been. It's like, I'm not in any sort of rush, but I want to keep and hold on to my things. So scale back a little bit. That's one of the best ways that you can maintain your progress over time. So start really easy. You can always ramp up later on. And sometimes you may ramp up and then you scale back and you ramp up and scale back. But don't feel like you've got to make this marathon a sprint, because that's how you get burned out and then you quit. Now, if you're coming to it and you have rebounded, and you say, I rebounded, now what the hell do I do? The first thing you do is do not beat yourself up emotionally or mentally, because that happens all the time. Oh, I wasn't strong enough. I wasn't disciplined enough. I didn't have enough willpower. Had nothing to do with that. Losing weight has nothing to do with willpower. It has nothing to do with these sorts of blood, sweat, and tears. Force yourself to do it. If anything, the opposite is the case. Because you want to be adopting habits and stuff that are actually easier over time. I know, again, it's not the sexy thing that people talk about on social media. People love to brag how much blood, sweat, and tears they're putting into it. But if you ever follow my stuff, you're like, you know what? This whole fitness thing is getting easier and easier every year. The older I get, the easier it is for me to do my workouts. The easier it is for me to maintain my healthy eating strategy. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Because the only way you can make progress is to make things easier. It is the only way any form of progress has ever been achieved in the history of everything for all of the universe. Anytime, seriously, look up anything, any computer technology, social advances, anything that has ever advanced is because something happened to make it easier to move forward. So you have to do that with your dietary approach. Start off gentle and easy. And if you've rebounded, say, all right, why was that so damn hard? And what can I do about it? How do I make it easier on myself? How do I prevent that situation from becoming so stressful? It's going to take a little introspective. And email me questions. I'll help you figure it out myself. Seriously, just go ahead. But it's supposed to get easier over time, not harder. Otherwise, you just keep running into that brick wall and bouncing backwards, and it just wears you out and eventually you quit. The next question I got is, how do you deal with negative influences in your life? Or not so much negative, but counterproductive influences. And this one's a real common question I get, where people say, I want to work out, I want to eat better and stuff, but maybe you're a student, you're living at home, or you're living with a bunch of roommates or something, and all they do is eat junk food and play video games all the time and stuff, and you're trying to make a change in a different direction. How do you deal with this? Well, recognize that the perfect life doesn't exist. Even the folks you see on social media who have the perfect body and they're taking pictures of their food and look how perfect my diet is and everything. It's not like that all the time. They're dealing with their own crap and everything. It's just off camera. And the reason why people get successful isn't because they have everything perfect. It's because they make the most of their current situation. So let's say you've got a circumstance where you're trying to eat really well, and you're starving, but your roommates, they're like, all right, I'm getting dinner tonight. And you're like, great, awesome. And they bring home like KFC or fast food or something like that. All right, not ideal, but remember the 3 Ps of the dietary structure I always talk about: plant, protein, and portion. You can work with that. It works with almost anything. You're like, all right, protein, KFC. All right, chicken, I got protein, good, check. Plant, well, we got plants here. Well, we got a side of coleslaw. That's something. I can work with that. And what do we have in the fridge? Okay, well, I've got a little mixed salad I made the other day, or I've got some fruit and I can have that for dessert. Okay, I can make up some tea to have with dinner. Okay, that's a plant. So, okay, I've got plants now. Good. And portion. Well, last time we did this, I ate until I couldn't move. So instead of having half a bucket of chicken, I'm just going to have a couple pieces, stop and see how I'm doing, and eat a little slower. Okay, good. Plant, protein, portion. You're eating better, because your key to success does not come from having things perfect. It doesn't even come from having things good half the time. It comes from taking whatever you've got and saying, all right, how do I improve on this? How do I progress my circumstances, or what I can do with my current circumstances? And that mindset is the progressive mindset. And that's what gets you success. Because the people who need things to be perfect and stuff never go anywhere. Because as soon as one little thing goes wrong, they're like, screw it, I don't have my pure oolong organic tea that was brewed in like Saskatchewan or whatever, so therefore I can't have a healthy breakfast, I'm going to go to McDonald's. That all or nothing mentality is so incredibly toxic. Instead, the people who are successful look at their situation, regardless of what it is, and say, how do I still work with this? How do I still make progress with this and make the most of what I have? Because situations are always changing, and you want to build progressive momentum regardless of what sort of circumstances you're in. All right, folks, if you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments section. As always, Grindstyle Calisthenics, now available on Amazon. Go and check it out. There's links down below if you're on YouTube, or just check out Grindstyle Calisthenics in the Amazon search bar. You'll find it real quick. Thank you very much for listening. I'll talk to you next week. Till then, be fit, live free.